So I spent half my life reaching in, pulling it back out, and setting them up again. So can you play this video? Also, oh, I'm sorry. Well, thought I had it all set up. This is a video of me. Our school has a sliding board. A slide. And the slide goes from the second floor to the first floor. And you know, when I first got the job, I thought, oh, they hired me because of my expertise. I've opened new schools before, that's it. And now I know they probably hired me because I was the only librarian that didn't run screaming when they said they had a slide in the library. So, and again, this was a conversation between the German constructors of the slide and the Thai builders of the building. And what was supposed to be a long slide out and come down, the Thais built the steel enclosure too small for the slide, so they had to take a section out. And so now it's just like a steep drop, like kids get in it and they sit down and they go, no. No, Miss G, I don't want to go. So it's quite hairy. So when this is on the Google, you'll be able to see the slide. So I went down, I took a bullet for you. I went down the slide to show you what it was like. I scream every time, I can't help it. So this is what I ended up with. It's coming along. Although, who in the world builds a seat 5 feet above the shelves? And do you think kids try to climb up there and get in it? Oh, yes, they did. I had a parent lifting a child up, and I was going, no, don't do that. Here's our reading cave. That's one of the coolest things they did because the kids just love putting on head torches and going in the reading cave, and they sit there and cuddle up with books. So that works really well. This is our upstairs, and it's still a work in progress. We're getting there. And then this is my proudest thing is I developed those steel stairs that go up. We put book spines on them, so at least it's a happy trip up the stairs. But all along, this is my goal. I don't want to, it's not important to me to get those books back, but it was important for me to get readers and to make them comfortable and to make them happy. So kids were able to take books home on the very first day of school, and I just pulled them out of stacks. So access was key. The environment that they came in, I helped them, I was kind. If I couldn't find something, I'd try something else. Teachers were constantly coming in, and we would dig through things to find whatever they needed. And then I built the community by having kids and parents and other teachers help me with getting everything organized. So what's next? I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm going to take the fiction from downstairs. I intentionally put nonfiction up and fiction down because originally they wanted the older kids at the top and the younger kids at the bottom. But I didn't want to see anybody have to make that walk of shame down the stairs if they couldn't read at level. So I just divided it by fiction, nonfiction. Well, our nonfiction collection is smaller, so we're going to flip. So we're going to take everything from downstairs and put it upstairs, and take everything upstairs and put it down. And then I'm turning the slide into platform 9 3/4. So, yeah, that should be fun. And yeah, that's how kids use the slide as well. Do you have any questions for me about how I did it or how things are going now? Say what? I didn't look through 6,000 books in 5 days. I looked through about 1,000 and had them ready at the front, and then just would constantly recycle new books up as I went through them and got them in order. Yeah. Thank you very much. Hi
Hi, I'm Kate Brundage. I'm one of the 3 elementary school librarians at the Singapore American School. And it's been great being here today because almost every presentation that I listen to has some little element of what I'm going to share with you today. It's crazy. It's like a composite. So basically, the Singapore American School is, it's been in existence for quite a while, and the campus I'm on is over 23 years old. And consequently, our administrators have decided that we should put out surveys and look at possibly rebuilding. And because of that, that started about 5 years ago, everything has been put on hold in terms of renovating, changing spaces. What you need to know about our environment is that as large as the Singapore American School is, there are 4,000, over 4,000, I want to say 4,300 students enrolled to date. Originally, the campus was designed, especially the elementary division, to hold no more than 9 classes per grade level. We're at 14, so we're busting at the seams. And so what I inherited was a library that would fit a lot less students than the students I have. And as we move forward in the area of creating more spaces for students, especially students doing personalized learning, there was nowhere to go. And we've created learning environments, little classrooms where we displaced the spaces where children were able to go to. So I also inherited a collection of about 85,000 books. 85,000. There are so many books that you trip over them no matter where you are in the library. So I was excited when Emily said, "We have the collection." So the first thing I had to do was talk to the students and talk about student agency. It was, hey, what is it you want to see happen in this library? And you know what they said? They said that they wanted a place to sit down. They didn't talk about learning. They talked about space to breathe. So I said, well, how would we go about doing that? And they said, well, why don't you just ask the bosses? I'm like, okay, give me some ideas. So the kids said, well, can't you just use the map and take the map and show them that we need space? Another thing that came out, and I think it was, if I believe it was Sarah, I think it was Sarah who said that the survey indicated that 97% wanted a quiet space. Well, we didn't have that. We had an overcrowded library and not enough space, and no one would listen. So I ended up collecting data every day in the form of photographs. So the photographs that I collected, I then put in my request to renovate. And I kept getting turned down. No, we might build. No, we can't do this. And so finally, I started taking all of the data on personalized learning and the data that our administrators were sharing with us. And I said to them, hey, if we want to have children create their own spaces and do work that's important to them, we have to have those spaces now, not in 5 years. We have to address the children who are in front of us. So I did end up getting a renovation pass through our capital asset request, but I had to lobby everyone from facilities who I sent nice big baskets to at Christmas to I lobbied our superintendent because I was in a leadership course with him. And I said, when you go to cabinet, you might want to think about this request because what are you doing about the kids that are in front of you today, not next week? So when the request went in and it came through, I discovered in February, last February, that they would renovate my library space to make more room for my students. I was counting over 200 children in our library from 7:30 till 8 o'clock, and they were sprawled out everywhere. You couldn't step, not on anything. It was insane. So once this was passed, then we had to establish timelines. I did involve students in the timelines. Now, our renovation takes place during the summer. So I had a big task ahead of me, and so did the students and staff. So it says, the second item is hiring additional support. Well, some of that was volunteer. So it was hiring a few extra people to work inside to help with the collection. And then we created a circulation report, and it's kind of hard to see up here, but if you look right in here where it's red, these are the items. So we did a CIRC report on everything we had in the library because we knew we needed to weed and get rid of a lot. And so once we did that, we identified the books that were at 1 and 0. The other thing we did that was probably the most relevant was that we engaged the students and staff in weeding. And I know that we all have to look at our collections. And yes, we need to be the final say on whether it goes or stays. But we can get a lot of support from our students and our teachers. And that's exactly what I did. I bought a couple of cases of wine and a couple of cases of beer, and I called it a weeding happy hour. And the teachers came